Life skills for horses, muddy horse coaching, squeezing through and over tight spots. Smokey is not in a regular program of new learning. He still needs big cues some of the time, so hopefully you can see the cues and responses as I talk about them. The actual session lasted for about 30 minutes. Here you can see he's a bit resistant to moving his hind end when I ask, so I have to do some blocking. And watch for his near hind leg to step underneath his belly so that he can bring himself around. It's basically a turn on the forehand that we're asking him to do, as he would do under saddle. And whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other side. You can see he's fairly stiff. We haven't done this for ages. He's fairly stiff and resistant. And once you've got that much more smooth than you've viewed there, you should be able to ask the horse to move his butt when you're standing further away. I'm twirling the end of the rope. It's a dull day, a little bit hard to see, and just dropping my head to focus on his hindquarters, and he moves them away. I know his owner Bridget has been working on that, so he was a lot smoother on that than he was on the touch. Now we're going to ask him to move between us and these barrels. We're going to ask him to hide his butt and then back up a step or two. And at that point I would click and give him his treat. So there's 3 parts to this tight spots game. First, would you please move through there? And I drop my energy and allow him to do that. I don't drive him through. Would you please hide your butt? Would you please hide your butt a little bit more? And would you please back up a step or two and wait there? Which he does nicely. Click and a treat. Would you please walk through that space, drop my hand and my energy, let him do it. And this time I'm not going to ask him to hide his butt. I'm going to ask him to do a circle, and I'm walking the circle a little bit with him because he hasn't done this for quite a long time. Smokey's a very pushy horse, and he'll come in and push on you. So I'm using my body extension just to keep him out and to get his energy level up. And please hide your butt, and please back up. And wait there. Click and a treat. So you want to have that going really well in both directions. Please walk through there. Take my energy down. Then I want him to keep going in the circle. And I want him to up his energy. So use my body extension to help. And keep him out. He tends to drop in. So keep his shoulder out. And ask him to keep jogging. So shoulder out and jogging. And then would you please hide your butt, and would you please step back a couple of steps, which you did very, very nicely there, and a click and a treat. Now we've put a rail into the area we want him to go through, so please would you walk over that rail, please would you hide your butt, and please would you back up a step. Those are the 3 things that you're asking. Click and a treat for all 3. First question, would you please walk over that rail? Would you please hide your butt? Would you please back up and stay there? Click and treat. So once you've got that going really smoothly, you can ask for it at the jog. So here I'm going to ask him to move out and around. So you teach the horse the difference between moving out and around in a circle, and you can move with him as much as you need to. At the beginning, eventually you'd like to be able to stand still. So the horse needs to learn the difference between carrying on in a circle, so just asking him to carry on in the circle here, and jog nicely over that rail, and now I'm asked him to hide his butt, back up a step or 2. Click and treat. Now I've put the two drums in there, which makes a little bit more of a barrier, and I'm still using the rail as a little bit of a help so that he can see the squeeze spot more easily. I think it's much easier to start with using some obstacles like this than just getting the horse to squeeze between you and something else. They see more reason of squeezing around something, especially with a horse like Smokey who tends to barge into you. So would you please go over that obstacle and keep going in the circle. Please squeeze over that obstacle. And this time would you please hide your butt and back up a step or two. Click and treat for that. And you build in these pauses. I've cut the pauses out, but you can build in pauses between these things. Please squeeze over that. Please hide your butt. Please back up a step or two. Those are the three things you're asking for. Click and treat. This time would you please go on in a circle. I'm putting pressure with my body extension toward his shoulder to keep him out. And I'm going to ask him to keep going on in a circle so he doesn't start to presume, so there is an option. It's always, and dropped my rope by mistake there, but he did a lovely hiding of his butt and backing off. Now you can see here that my approach was faulty. Rather than squeeze in between those two rails, which was my purpose, I didn't make the angle correct, and he sort of stepped in them, which is part of this horse's history of, there he did it again, this horse's history of wanting to crowd into you. We spent many weeks solving that problem to get as far as we have now, but he needs a reminder, so I just swing the rope toward his shoulder to remind him, and then he hit his butt and backed up for it. There again, you can see he wants to crowd in, so my timing was way off. So I would do this until my timing was better, to keep his shoulder out so that he can come straight through and do a nice tidy hide the butt. Just a matter of practice in short sessions to get it right. Filmed in the Wairarapa, New Zealand. Film editing and narration by Hertha James. Powerword Publications, www.safehorse.info.